My wife confessed she is a lesbian, and I am utterly crushed. I'm 35, she's 29. We've been together for a decade, married for 4 of those years. She has been, and still feels like, the love of my entire life. The mere thought of existing without her is unbearable. Yesterday morning, I woke up and noticed she was sitting on the patio, crying. Naturally, I went to her to comfort her and find out what was wrong. Through her tears, she told me she was gay and that she was so terribly sorry. She said she no longer feels any attraction towards me, but she also doesn't want to leave. I always knew she was attracted to women, but for me, it was never an issue. Over the years, we had several amazing threesomes with different women. I was even okay with her exploring that side of herself with other women without me. I just wanted her to be happy and fulfilled. We spent the entire day either crying or talking about our now completely uncertain future. All the plans we had made, buying a house, traveling, getting dogs and cats, retiring together, turned to dust in an instant. We had a fantastic intimate life. We were physically close at least a few times a week, and we almost always brought each other to climax. Over the years, we experimented and grew together, exploring ourselves and finding new ways to please each other. I told her I didn't blame her, that if this is who she truly is, it's not her fault, and she hasn't done anything wrong. But that knowledge doesn't make the pain any less. She's my best friend. We have had, and still have, such a warm, supportive relationship. We've been through so much together that I can't even bear the thought of losing her and starting everything from zero. She said she doesn't want to leave me, that she still sees a future with me, just without intimacy. But she also understands how unfair that is to me. So she wouldn't mind if I found 1 or 2 partners for physical needs. But all I really want is her. I am insanely attracted to her, and I tell her every day. To me, she is the most sensual woman in the world, but the realization that this attraction is now one-sided has obviously broken my heart and destroyed my self-esteem. I don't know what to do. I'm sure most comments will be along the lines of, move on, or find a lawyer and get divorced. But I don't know if I have the strength for that. I'm praying that she'll wake up and realize she made a mistake, that she was just overwhelmed and confused. Somewhere deep down, I know that's not how it works, but the wounds are too fresh, and I'm clinging to any tiny thread of hope. We don't have children. All our pets have passed away, but we literally just moved into a new house last week, so we might be stuck together at least until next March. I just want my wife back. Hello, everyone. It's been a while. I decided it was time to share how the roller coaster that was the last year of my life finally came to a stop. I'll start with a couple of apologies. Sorry for the chaos in my original post. I was in complete disarray back then, and I apologize to everyone who wrote to me and didn't get a reply. I am grateful to each person who wrote warm words and to those who shared similar stories. Exactly 1 year ago today, I woke up and got out of bed, completely unaware that my life was about to completely collapse. That morning, I found my wife on the back patio. She was clearly deeply distressed. I, of course, as a good husband, went to find out what was wrong. I thought it was work-related, but I was terribly mistaken. Through tears, she told me she was gay and that she was so sorry. I will never forget the feeling of the world shrinking around me as I was hit by the most intense fear, panic, confusion, and grief. At first, she said she wasn't planning to leave me, that we could go to couples therapy and try to find a way to live together. Of course, I agreed. Just 3 days after that, my mom informed me that my stepdad had been diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Another 3 days later, my dad said my stepmom had been diagnosed with skin cancer. Fortunately, my stepmom had surgery and is now doing well. My stepdad was not so lucky. He passed away last November. He was wonderful, funny, kind, and I miss him terribly. Having all of this crash down on me within 1 week completely knocked me off my feet. I stopped going to work, couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I just existed. I literally fused with the couch, distracting myself with hockey podcasts and weed. My wife tried to be there, but she was dealing with her own internal crisis and was retreating more and more in her own world, both physically and emotionally. For context, she had suffered from severe anxiety her whole life, and even the thought of a difficult conversation could bring her to tears. But a few months before all this, She had started taking anti-anxiety medication and was finally able to tell me not only about her sexuality, but also about all the times I had let her down. Moments over 10 years when I had been inattentive or not a good enough partner. I always thought we communicated well, but it turned out it was more of a one-way street. I also always thought I was a great husband, tried to be attentive, caring, sensitive, and compassionate. I was never abusive and never cheated. We argued extremely rarely. And if we did, we always ended up calmly discussing everything like adults. I was sure I was doing everything right, but in reality, I wasn't giving her what she needed from a partner. And since she never told me, how was I supposed to know? Hearing about all these small moments where I had failed her was incredibly painful. But at the same time, it gave me a light at the end of the tunnel, a mission to save the marriage. I couldn't do anything about her being gay, but I could damn well try to make up for every instance of my inattentiveness. I made a plan to prove to her that I was worth staying with. I organized a surprise picnic for her, bought us circus tickets for the first time in my life, booked a table at a restaurant, and took her to eat her favorite cuisine. I started learning French. She is French-Canadian. I took over planning our next big vacation. I started writing a song for her. I was going to give her guitar lessons because she had mentioned being interested before. For 2 months, every minute of every day, I thought of ways to show her how important she was to me. She also confessed she wanted children. We had originally agreed kids weren't in our plans, but she had changed her mind. And for her, I would have agreed without hesitation and told her so many times. In May, she left the country for a trip to the Dominican Republic with friends. This trip had been planned for at least a year. We agreed to barely communicate during that week, so she could sort out her thoughts and truly understand what she wanted. We even made love the night before she left. And for the first time in 2 months, I felt like everything might actually be okay. Well, on the day she returned, she officially ended our marriage. One of the hardest parts was that we had just moved into a big new house with roommates on March 1st. I couldn't let her just move out immediately. It would have financially screwed me and our roommates over. We live in Vancouver. It's crazy expensive here. So we came up with a bedroom sharing system. Sometimes we even continued sleeping in the same bed. But over time, it became too painful. In the end, I converted a large shed in the backyard, put a sofa, an air conditioner, and a TV in there, and basically lived there all summer. She started dating someone and was increasingly absent until she effectively moved out while still paying rent. During these months, tragedy struck many people close to me. One of my closest friends lost his mom to cancer. A good friend from school also lost his wife to cancer. I knew her from work and had seen their relationship begin, their marriage, and the birth of their beautiful daughter. And it all ended incredibly tragically. And just a few weeks before my stepdad's death, my stepsister's long-term partner died. The volume of grief I felt, both for myself and for my loved ones, was unbearable, incomprehensible. So much loss in such a short time. Every day for months, I thought about ending it all, but kept going mainly because I couldn't do that to my parents. Amidst all the bad, some good things happened. In May, I quit a toxic but well-paying job due to complete burnout and a lack of empathy from management regarding my situation. This led to me finding my dream job a few months later. I now work in the quality control department for guitars at a major music retailer. I play, test, and repair guitars every day. It's simply a dream job for me. Last summer, some friends and I entered a radio contest and actually won. We came up with a 30-second ad on the fly, submitted it, and out of over 80 entries, we won $10,000 and got nationwide airplay. My ex-wife even saw our ad on the big screen before a movie once. I started a silly YouTube channel with a good friend where we film dumb reaction videos. It's not successful yet, but it's a fun way to burn energy. And finally, last November, I met a truly special woman. She also came out of a long marriage, and they split for practically the same reason. We've been officially dating since New Year's. She is incredible, beautiful, smart, successful, and a wildly talented artist. She inspired me to start painting, and I inspired her to pick up the guitar. We are helping each other heal and find joy in life again. My relationship with my ex-wife is amicable. We still care for each other and wish each other only the best. She was there when we saw my stepdad for the last time. She and my mom still talk, which honestly makes me very happy. And on March 1st this year, she officially moved out. It's been an insane journey from a state where I was sobbing on the floor 10 times a day to where I am now, with the best job of my life and interesting, promising new relationships. I really didn't think I could get through it, but I did. Thank you to everyone who read this far. Well, thank you for listening to both of these stories all the way to the end. Check out our previous videos, which you'll see right here. And be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already for some reason. Good luck.